Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Ohio. But before we get started, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. Yesterday, I apologize. I missed a video for you guys just due to the fact that there was a fire at my pizza joint across the street. My favorite pizza place of all time. It's been around forever. It's been in a movie called Brubaker back in the day with Robert Redford. Most of you probably have never heard of that. Some of you old folks out there, you probably have. But it was Pinky's in Brubaker. Well, it's right across the street from where I live. Anyway, it caught fire yesterday right before they opened. And so while they were dealing with the fire, with all the fire department and everything over there, they ended up shutting off power, which apparently affects my internet somehow. I don't know how shutting off power to one building affects the internet to everybody in the area, but like, for reals, get on that. That's ridiculous. But I do apologize. I don't normally miss uploads, especially during the week. On the weekend, I'll take a day off or so, but generally, during the week, I don't miss uploads. But it happens. But that's what happened yesterday, so I apologize for that. Anywho, boys... This has been an interesting morning, y'all. I've had some good games. I've had some bad games. I've had some games that I wish didn't exist. I've had a lot of destroyers tonight. I don't know why, but for some reason lately I've been getting a lot of 4 and 5 destroyer per team games. It's been kind of crazy. And ain't nothing worse than going to legendary tier, sitting in queue for 3 minutes only to get into a match. Well, I take that back. There is one thing worse than sitting in queue for legendary for 3 minutes and getting into a match full of 4 destroyers or 5 destroyers. It's when you get into a match with 3 destroyers per team and it's only a 5v5. That's my favorite. That's my personal favorite. But no, we're going to go off to the right side. You're going to notice we spawned next to some folks in a clan named Yoink. I've been running into different Yoink folks all morning. But one of them's in Ohio, one of them's in the Hindenburg. We've got a Montana. And this Montana, now this man gets away with some okay? Until he doesn't. But he gets away with some and he's going to turn away. And good turn by him. He avoids the majority of the damage, but we still slap the man for 13k. Remember, we are a full damage build Ohio. But we get a couple little tickles back. No big deal. Not a huge amount of damage in return. But that being said, we are going to try to push the right. Now, this guy in the Ohio in front of me, he's going to make the cardinal sin. Alright, look at the minimap. We know that at minimum, there are 3 people right here ready to shoot us, right? We know they are. They've been spotted. Make that 4. 4 different people ready to shoot us. But he makes the cardinal sin of turning in too soon. And that allows him to be focused by all those people. Now, if you pay attention to what they're doing on the map, you'll notice that if you just don't go in that quickly, I'm still going to go forward. I'm just going to take a little longer to do so. But if you just don't go in a little sooner, you can save yourself a lot of damage. So in the future, if you find yourself in this position, don't necessarily commit, unless you know that you're going to get away with it, don't commit to going like so soon into the Charlie area or, you know, up into there. Because you're in a crossfire. This is a small map. Pretty much everybody can shoot you. So not an ideal scenario, right? I've been there, done that, got the scar. Y'all know the deal. Like, we've all been there. We've all done it, which is why I bring it up, because it's something that happens quite frequently. If you make that turn too soon, and I mean, just watch the man's health. He's already lost half his hit points. He's already healed, and here comes another big hit as he turns broadside to try to get behind the island. Bonk! There goes another chunk of his health, and leaving him with just enough to continue being a problem. But, yeah, he's lost all of his health, unfortunately. And again, it's nothing that he necessarily, like, I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything. We've all done it. We've all put ourselves in that position before. But yeah, you don't want to commit, especially in something that's so easily spotted like a battleship, right? You don't want to put yourself in that position, which is why I came to the outside edge. Because really, the only person that can shoot me right now that I'm aware of is the Columbo. And I'm continuing to shoot at people when I can. But limiting who can shoot us is a big deal. Because no matter what battleship you think you're in, no matter what cruiser you think you're in, if enough people are shooting at you, you're going to die. It's just physics, right? Like, you get enough people sending rounds your way, you're going to go down. No matter how good you are. But Colombo is already turning to run, which is perfect for me because that's going to allow me to continue to push this flank. Now, I am going to make sure that I am firing my guns first here because I want, if these guys are going to fire their guns, I want them to shoot me and not shoot at the guy next to me, if that's possible. So you'll see that I get a good hit there on the Colombo. Colombo's going to shoot at me. Also, Montana's going to take a shot at me over the island. Now, watch what this Montana does next. And this is something that a lot of people do. They forget that if you can shoot somebody, they can generally shoot you back. And so when you go full broadside thinking that island's going to save you, you're playing with fire, sunshine. And not only that, look at that accuracy. This was an Arthas salvo from the get-go. And so I hit the Arthas button and wham! All his health belongs to me. But of course, in true Spartan fashion, we got to leave him with just enough to continue being a problem. But as we push up the right flank, you'll see my teammates are starting to get excited. They're like, oh my god, Spartan, calm the f down now. You out here slapping people. Yeah, I am. That's the beauty of positioning. As much as that poor fella in the Ohio learned the positioning the wrong way, that I'm showing the opposite. I'm showing how effective this can be. Like, these guys can only shoot at me with like one chip, right? And we're able to return fire very effectively. However, positioning and being aggressive and taking a flank is very effective until you find yourself overextended. And that's where we're going to be headed. That's right, folks. This is a tale about all the things. A teammate who gets himself yeeted early, me yeeting other people because they're not thinking, and then me overextending on my flank because I outrun my help. Now, you can all debate on why I overrun my help. Now, I'm not gonna fault the Ohio here, okay? The Ohio's gonna do his job, but we are going to fault the Frederick de Grossa and the Yamato. Now, Yamato's gonna end up with, I think, 4 kills in this lobby. So to that, you'll be like, well, Spartan, he did his job. Yeah, no, he didn't. Part of a battleship's job isn't just to snipe a couple of kills that are low health and call it a day, and then end with a total that looks somewhat. And of course, as soon as I fire at the goddamn Montana, the Colombo is spotted full broadside, right? Full broadside. But we do get the kill on the Montana. That gives us our first proc of our legendary module, which is going to give us a little bit more damage. You can see that Stalingrad isn't even looking at us, and there's another battleship over there that hasn't been spotted yet. That's not ideal. Or at least there's a battleship over there that shot at me, didn't get spotted, but we know there's a battleship over there. Turns out it's Preußen, which is no good for me. But as we try to push out on this flank, I'm using my ability to flank these guys and my concealment to not get spotted as I continue to push. Now, you'll see, I don't want the Colombo to have the smoke screen forever and have the advantage here. I want to wait, and if I give them enough time, they'll forget about me. And that's what happens. Stalingrad over-rotates his ship, completely forgets that I exist out here. I take a shot at him, and we're going to go ahead and hit the Arthas button on him as well. And once again, we're going to clap that man's side. I mean, literally half health the man, and we didn't even get a citadel, right? And then, of course, Yama finishes him off. Again, Colombo is pushing towards us. Preußen is running away. And that's ideal, but not really, and I'll explain why. I can angle against 2 or 3 people if they're relatively close to one another. And then this guy decides to go full broadside. It's like, what are you doing? And of course, in true Spartan fashion, once again, I gotta leave him with just enough to continue being a problem. And he gets a shot through the cheek at the dumbest angle I've ever seen for those 15-inch guns. I thought they nerfed the pin angles of the Colombo. Like, how the f did that man just get that shot through the cheek at that angle? I'm calling bolt, alright? But we do manage to take him out, and that gives us our second proc of our legendary module. Now, what I was talking about earlier with the fact that the Preußen's running away, and that's a good thing, but also a bad thing, is when 2 people are relatively close to one another, I can angle to both of them. However, when one of them splits off and creates a crossfire, I'm in trouble. Now, I played this wrong. I want to shoot the Conqueror. I'm aware that the Preußen exists, right? Like, we've seen him. We know he's there. And I am very aware that once I shoot at the Conqueror, that the Preußen's going to take a shot at me. What I should have done, knowing that the Conqueror is going to be shooting HE 99% of the time, I should have pointed my bow towards the Preußen, got my guns rotated to the right for the Conqueror, and then I would have been fine. And I would have been able to tank more damage. These are all things that you notice after the fact that you could potentially do better in the future. And we get spotted as the Conqueror bounces off the border, and we go full broadside to the Preußen to shoot at the Conqueror, and of course Preußen doesn't miss. Right? That's the beauty of those big old, nasty, highly accurate guns. But you're going to see me get here into chat and ask where the Frederick de Grosse and Yamato are and why they haven't decided to get involved in the match at this point, considering they are both full health. Literally full health. We still have the Hindenburg too, but Hindenburg is actually doing something, even if it doesn't look like he is. He's actually moving over towards Alpha and putting himself between the enemy destroyer and our battleships. Now, I don't know if this enemy destroyer went AFK or what, but I digress. You can see Yama and Frederick de Grosse were full health. Like, these guys couldn't move forward at any point during the match and tank some hits, or at least get some of the attention off of the people that have been, like, leading the charge the whole time. Now, again, I made a mistake at the end of the game that cost me my life. I now, looking back, can make that change in the future and be like, okay, if I'm in this situation again, I know that this guy's shooting HE. Why am I bow tanking him? It makes literally no difference. And then I'm staying broadside to the Preußen, who's definitely going to be shooting AP most of the time, just to get my guns off to shoot at a guy that's bouncing off the border that really makes no real difference. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things that I like to point out, right? These teaching moments that we can all learn from. Because these are the moments that make a huge difference in the course of a battle. And unfortunately, our Ohio is going to go down. No shock there. Hopefully he can also learn something from this match and be like, okay, well, next time that I try to push this flank, I won't go inside those two islands. It almost always ends poorly because most of the enemy team spawns middle of this map and they're all within shooting distance of you. So if you do get spotted in your battleship, you're probably going to get killed. But Yama gets a shot out at the Conqueror, I believe, here, and he is going to finish off the Conqueror. Again, a lot of the kills that he ends up getting are relatively low health. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on the Stalingrad and say maybe he got a good chunk on the Stalingrad. But most of the shots that he got, maybe he got decent damage on the Preußen as well. I don't know. Didn't get to see from his perspective very long. But yeah, like if you're full health in a top tier battleship at the end of a match, you have not played well. I don't care if you've got 300,000 damage. Like, you should be at some point taking a hit. Taking multiple hits. That's why they give you heals. That's why you got all that armor, right? I'm not saying you got to be dumb and put yourself in a bad position and get yourself killed. I'm saying that you, at some point, this game is about trading, right? Trading hit points, where you're getting better trades versus where you're not getting better trades. You know what I'm saying? And so, at some point, you got to step up and help your team by trading some hit points. Okay? Not saying you got to put your ship in danger. I'm not saying you got to put yourself out there to get yeeted. I'm just saying that at some point, if you're full health, 8 minutes into a match, 9 minutes, 10 minutes into a match, and you're in a battleship, you have not played correctly. But team wraps it up. This was a really fun match. I thought that this showcased a lot of good teaching points for you guys. Good result, 217,000 damage, high caliber. And, of course, we're going to get top of the leaderboard, I believe. No, actually, I lied. Hindenburg gets top of the leaderboard because he got some base caps. But he gets 3,100. Congrats to the Hindenburg. We did our job, got second. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy this? Do you guys also see where the mistakes were made? And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.